I don't have the music. You gotta hit it.
Oh, I thought you had it.
No, I'm not. I'm on my phone.
Oh well, sorry about that, y'all.
Well, let's start it live.
The opinions expressed by the host and guest on this program are solely their own and do not represent the views or opinions of Blind United. We strive to provide diverse perspectives and discussions on our platform, but the opinions expressed should be understood as personal viewpoints and not reflective of Blind United as an organization.
Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Blind Coffee Time with Blind United. I'm sorry, tongue tied this morning. Got mixed up with the controls in the background, but typical Monday morning. Anyway, uh, it's you got me and Pedro today, y'all. So good morning, Pedro.
Good morning, Ed. Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. I'm back, even though it's just through the guest app. But I'm back. I'm back. And how was your weekend, Ed?
I wish it was a bit more active, but it was okay. Uh,
Okay.
I missed out on that barbecue y'all made out down there, and
Oh yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
would have liked to see the real deal on what them plates look like. You
Yeah.
know, but it is what it is. So, but anyway, we got one group today. We got our interest group is a support group with Dominic Martin today, and that's going to be at 6 p.m. Pacific time. So come on out and check it out. And Dominic's really, really good with this stuff. It's one of our, more popular groups.
Mm.
People come in and hang out with us. We normally have, 10, 15 people in this group, man. I mean, it's just, and then, man, I'm hate to see where it goes with this one tonight. The topic for tonight is addiction. So,
Oh.
and I got in a lot of trouble last time I had that conversation with a group counselor like that. So I'm anxious to see where this conversation goes. So, but it's always interesting doing this with Dom. Like I said, he's good at what he does, So we're gonna have fun with it. And then on the flip side of that, that's it. We got like I said, 6 o'clock tonight at 6 p.m. So come hang out, check us out, whatever. Uh,
And
today
Dominic
is
always provides good resources for after his class. So come on through and get those resources also in your inbox.
oh yeah, yeah. I mean, he makes you think outside the box. I mean, that's the beauty of it. I mean, just like I'm saying, this topic is addiction, but you get all the preconceived ideas of what that's going to be, and he never fails to amaze us. He comes from a whole different angle. So,
Yeah, and
uh,
an addiction has layers and different things can be addiction, not only drugs and alcohol. There's other addictions. So man, I think it's gonna be a good class tonight, a good resources it puts out all the time. So these are
right,
some free resources you could actually go look up sometimes on YouTube He got other articles, so it's a good class. One of the most
Right.
popular classes right now.
Yeah. So, hey, again, come on out and check him out. So, but in other news, today is the start of the DNC. So, the Democratic National Convention starts today. So, that ought to be pretty interesting. Uh, I mean, again, as we say up in the front of this, this is my opinion, whatever, it doesn't necessarily reflect Blind United, but, I just want to say it this way. Let's not get complacent. Let's not just assume that everything's going to be okay. You know what I'm saying? Everybody needs to do their part. Everybody needs to make sure that they registered. Everybody needs to make sure they get out there and vote, So, on that note, I mean, at least we got one candidate that's talking about policies, and how they're going to do certain things and all this other kind of stuff. The other one, all it does is complain about this and that. And
How beautiful he looks now.
oh, yeah. I mean, and I mean, just mistaken identity, whatever. Man, I found out. So, he's talking real bad about her being on the cover of Time magazine, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
But he's talking about it's a drawing, right? So they didn't have an adequate photo, right? So that's what he's saying anyway. So they had to do an artist rendition of what she looks like, right? But
Mhm.
he wants to make it off like play it off like he thought it was Sophia Loren. I mean, originally he thought it was his wife. Now it's Sophia Loren or one of these other movie stars or whatever. Then he got into, but about he's more beautiful than her. Well,
Mhm.
homeboy, men are not beautiful. Men are handsome. Women are beautiful, dude. So let's get your verbiage situated
Yeah.
straightened out.
And about the Times magazine, he acted like he had the inside baseball on that. He was nowhere near it. How does he know all this is going down unless it's just another made up lie?
So something that came out yesterday in the midst of all of that stuff, right?
Hmm.
So you know how he's got all these different golf clubs and stuff.
Yeah.
So he's actually got blown up, supposed to be copies of him being on the cover of Time magazine, right?
Hmm.
But when you check with Time magazine, he ain't never been on the cover.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, so bottom line, he did a Photoshop, put himself on the cover, took all of the headlines and stuff from that actual edition, put them over the cover, right?
Hmm.
Blew them up, and now he's got them hanging in the clubhouses of his golf courses.
No shame
Like,
in his game.
you know what I'm saying? But then they said if you scan the barcode, the barcode is on the cover of all the magazines now.
Hmm.
It comes out with some, I forget what it is, but it ain't got nothing to do with Time magazine.
Yeah.
Dude, this man, what is wrong with this cat, man? I mean,
He has his head so far up his own. You know what? That's what's wrong with that. I hate to say here, but it's like a rich white old man. You
right,
know, he thinks he's above her. He thinks he's beautiful over her. How you gonna compare yourself to a woman? You know what I mean?
right,
Yeah, and I think he doesn't see it that because of him, we're in this inflation right now. He doesn't see it. He doesn't want to take responsibility of what he ended up causing with his tax cuts to the rich.
well, he never takes responsibility for any of his actions.
He seems
And
like
I
a
know.
narcissist to me.
What was
Yeah.
that, Britt?
He seems like a narcissist to me.
Well, he is a narcissist. There's no doubt
Okay,
about it.
then.
Yeah,
And we
he's
know we know that the left ain't perfect either, but wow, the way he He spews lies, the way he's self-centered, the way he thinks everything revolves around him, and then trying to make an assumption. Oh, they're communists, they're socialism, they're Marxists. Which one is it? Because all those don't go together. You know what I mean?
Well, you can't be a communist and a fascist at the same time.
Exactly.
I mean, again, I mean, he just, again, with the narcissism, whatever, everything he's ever supposedly done or said or whatever is the greatest. It's the biggest, the largest crowd, the best selling author, the
The
most,
strongest.
yeah, the strongest, I mean, everything he's done is better than everybody else, no matter what it is. He's just better at all of us. He's the smartest person on the planet. Whatever. He's, you would think that he's, I don't know. I mean, I can't even come up with a word of what he thinks he is. I mean, it's because I'm sure with whatever word I came up with, it wouldn't be fitting enough for him. It wouldn't be, honorable enough for him. You know what I'm saying? So,
Mhm.
dude is just, I mean, he's out of control. Now this latest thing, man, I don't care, man. I'm sorry. Anybody that signs up and goes to the military, I don't give a damn whether you go overseas or you work support from this side, whether you stay here in the States, whatever. Bottom line, you signed up to be, to do your civic duty and serve your country. You know what I'm saying? And for you to say that this latest thing where the Presidential Medal of Freedom is higher than the Congressional Medal of Honor, come on, man. You gave it to a woman that donated $100 million to your campaign.
Yeah, no
Okay,
respect for the veterans right there.
no respect at all for the veterans. Man, they went over there, they put their life on the line. Yes, some of them got shot up, but a lot of them were killed. A lot of those medals go to the families of people that gave their life over in war. You know what I'm saying?
They did the
And
ultimate sacrifice, the ultimate, you know?
And then what was it he did? Again, it's been proven. He's got it on tape. I've heard it, several times myself, where he calls veterans suckers and losers. You know what I'm saying? And and then the way he just goes and he didn't want vets, and it was Veterans Day or something like that, and there was supposed to be some sort of an event he was supposed to participate in, and he didn't want to do it because they were going to have disabled veterans in the photos, and he said that makes him look bad. That makes him look weak. Come on, man. It ain't about you, fool. It's about the country.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the point that we need to push. It's about the country. When you become president, you're about the country and everyone, not just yourself, looking on the way you could make a dollar, the way you could brand this presidency and make some money and get people to your golf course, to your resorts. That's what he's looking for, you know. And it's a shame that, you know, it seems like they're following an overseas playbook, a certain country's playbook. They want to dismantle NATO. They want to get rid of it. And who wants to get rid of NATO besides Trump? Putin.
Putin, Kim Jong Un, what's old boy Xi from China?
Hmm.
What's that other cat? That's where is it? Where is he from? Turkey or not? I don't think it's Turkey. Istanbul or something like that. It's
Yeah.
a dictator over there. I'm sorry if I'm getting the country wrong, but again, there's another dictator over there. Again, Trump idolizes dictators. Why? Because he wants to be one. It's just that simple. I mean, he thinks these are great men because they rule with an iron fist. Come on, man.
And this is land. This is the land of the free.
I mean, that's another thing. How can you be, the party of freedom when you're taking away people's freedoms?
Or the
You
party
know,
led government and then telling you what not to do.
Oh, I mean, again, that the same thing. You're taking away freedom. You're telling people that they can't do this, they can't do that with their own body. You know, you telling them who they can love, who they can marry, who they can, all of this. I mean, you telling people that, regardless, if they got to have kids, no more condoms, no more abortions, no more, no more, what does it call it? The prescription abortion, whatever. It's
Hmm.
okay. You say you're pro life. Well, what do you do for kids once they get here?
They don't want school lunch, school breakfast. They want to cut
Hold
down
on.
SNAP.
They took away the child tax credit, which took over 50% of children out of poverty.
Correct, correct. And you know, and to cut back and say, oh, they don't really need it, or they're gonna use it on drugs, or they're gonna use it on other things they don't need. Like we lifted kids out of property. He could have said that. He could have had a talking point with that. But
But see, the
no.
problem is his only talking point is him.
It's him. He's probably the one that he's probably one of those that takes a quick fart and smells the air. He's
I
that
mean,
self-centered,
this
probably.
thing, this thing was supposed to be, this concert or this news conference he did this weekend at his other golf club was
Mhm.
supposed to be about the economy. When the man asked me, well, what are you going to do about, bringing prices down and housing costs and all that stuff? He said, just vote for me. I'll take care of it. Don't worry about it. Just vote for me.
Mhm.
I mean, come on, man. That cannot be the answer to everything. You are not the answer to all things. People want to know how. How
Mhm.
do you plan on doing this stuff? You know what I'm saying? And not trying to be funny, but that's why old girl is beating him right now in the polls because she's standing up there and she's explaining how she's going to do these things.
And they're just only attacking her character, attacking who she is, attacking that she's a woman, attacking her not wearing enough jewelry, wearing dark colors, attacking her on her looks and all kinds of other stuff besides policy. And their talking point is she's a radical leftist. The same thing they said about Biden, the same thing they said about Obama, and it's not even true.
Well, they call Michelle a man.
Yeah.
They straight said Michelle Obama was basically a transvestite.
Oh yeah, no. That's something that a lot of women get accused of, and that's crazy.
I mean, come on. Okay, well then where did the two kids come from?
They're saying that they were a conspiracy. That Michelle didn't have them. There's no pictures of them as babies, and there's no proof they adopted those kids or they took them from Africa or something. There's all kinds of weird conspiracy
All
Okay.
theories.
kinds of conspiracy
I bet
theories.
I bet Barack and Michelle got photos of them as babies.
Mm-hmm. Let
I
me
bet
shoot you
Michelle.
another conspiracy out there that I think is most likely real. All right. They talk about Epstein and all this child stuff that I don't want to say the word here on the live, but all this child abuse and all these things going down. But their leader is riding on his jet. The
His
leader.
jet is broke down right now, and he's using Epstein's jet.
What does that tell you? And they haven't brought out no conspiracy. They haven't even talked about that. And that's kind of weird. Hold up. You say you was not friends with him. Y'all was kind of enemies. He got mad at you because you kicked him out your resort. But here you are on his jet. What does that say?
And then,
Mm.
and I seen some, and again, internet is what it is, but I seen something this weekend that's made the statement that Melania came over here as a model through one of the modeling agencies that Epstein had a lot to do with. And next thing you know, she's married to Donald Trump. Okay.
Yep.
They are right now paying her her hair her beautician.
Yeah,
making $250,000 a year. Guess who's paying that bill?
the government, our
No,
taxpayers.
the mega donors,
Woo!
the MAGA donors. They're all that money that's again that. Why are they paying it? Because she's supposed to be on the campaign trail. She ain't been on no campaign trail, but they're paying
Another
for her to
lie.
be right. They're paying for her to be kept up, right? Her personal whatever you want to call it, the what do you call the one that picks out your stylist?
Yeah,
Her
the stylist.
her yeah, her stylist is making a $500,000 a year to
Oh,
go
I got a new
traveling with her.
conspiracy. They're paying her, right? Melania and all that, and they say she's on the campaign so they could pay her because she might want to leave him. With all the stuff that has coming out and all that, she might want a way out. It's just she ain't down to do it during the campaign.
Well, I mean, again, she showed up. She didn't show up at all anywhere before the RNC. She showed up briefly at the RNC, and she hasn't been seen since anywhere on the campus. This woman didn't even go to court with this man.
That
And
tells
did
you.
they have separate motorcades, Ed? I remember they had separate motorcades.
Yes, when we were in DC, when we were there for the seminar, weren't you in the car with me when we went to the liquor store?
Yes, that's why I mentioned it.
Right. We're so Pedro, we're rolling going to the liquor store, right? This is why he was in office. So
Mm-hmm.
rolling from the hotel, we're going to find us a liquor store, right? So we're rolling, all of a sudden we get held up by a motorcade. Of course, we're blind. We don't know what's going on, right? So the driver tells us, oh, that's the presidential motorcade. You know, he's on his way to go give the State of the Union, right? Oh, okay, cool. You know, whatever. So we go, motorcade goes by, we hit the store, we turn around, we heading back to the hotel, we get hit by another motorcade.
Oh wow.
Dude, what is this? You know, he said, oh, that's Melania's motorcade. She don't ride with Trump.
That's I got another conspiracy. You think he's too big that he's sweating too much and she's like repulsed by his stench and
No,
smell?
I think she doesn't like him because they have separate motorcades. And then when he was in office, I think didn't she wait a couple of months before she moved out here? And it seems like they're always separate. She never
Well,
really.
Well,
she
that's
said
what he said too. They sleep in
she
separate rooms.
right. Well, she also said that she was staying at the Trump Towers while what's his name, Barron finished the school year. That was supposed to be the reason why she moved into the White House late. But even once they moved into the White House, my understanding is Barron had his own floor. Okay, where was she at? You know what I'm saying? I bet she wasn't in the room with him. You know, I mean, she don't even want to hold a man's hand. Come on now.
She slaps his hand. That tells you something, folks. Like, your wife should be up standing next to you. She's your partner, you know, just like Joe Biden's wife. She's always supported him. You know what I mean? She shows up. She's right
Jill.
there next to him. That's an example of a wife and husband being partners. But I don't know. You could tell by the body language, the way Trump and his wife act, that they're not so close. They're
Well,
not so close.
what they say in the hood when a sister slap your hand away, don't touch me, fool.
She might feel repulsed from him from what he did during she was pregnant. That the respect he gave, that the respect to his wife during the time she was pregnant.
Well, I mean, not only that, look at the this whole thing that he got, this hush money payments. All that was while she was pregnant with Barron. He
Hmm.
was sleeping with Stormy Daniels. You know what I'm saying? He was. That's. I mean, to me, that's why she didn't show up to that trial, right?
Hmm.
Well, the other one, she didn't show up to that one. Why? Because he was accused of rape and sexual assault.
Yeah, by that woman and 22 others.
Come on now. You know, I mean, again,
If it quacks like a duck,
the
quacks like a duck, it must be a duck.
I think the only reason that she's still there is because there's probably one hell of a prenup where she don't get nothing. You know
Mm.
what I'm saying? But now Barron is 18. You know, so bottom line, he's tied into the money. So as long as she's good with her son ain't gonna let her fall to the wayside. You know. Plus, come to find out, according to that other thing that I heard over the weekend, she's actually got a property back in Slovakia that she's collecting rent money on. You
Mm.
know, so I mean,
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
the only thing she made money on, I mean, she's got 2 or 3 different supposed to be, businesses, corporations, LLCs, and none of them are making any money. I mean, some of them have to do with fashion. She doesn't make any money off of that. The only thing she's making money off is they got her speaking to, Republican stuff, right? At the Log Cabin Republicans party or whatever. She made $246,000 for speaking over there. And
Okay.
then she's making money. What are those new digital like remember Trump was selling those digital photos where he's
Yeah, the
photoshopped.
NFTs.
Right. So she sells those. So she's
Oh wow.
actually taking photos of America, the American flag, different stuff like that, whatever, and she's selling those, and she's making a few dollars off of that.
Okay. Hey, Ed, a quick. Do you remember a report talking about how uh what was his name? His son-in-law, Kushner.
Okay, Derek Kushner.
Yeah, got $2 billion from a Saudi Arabia.
No, it was 4 billion, my brother.
4 billion. Oh wow.
$4 billion. He 2 weeks before the end of Trump's presidency, Derek Kushner flew to Saudi Arabia and closed the deal on, government dime, right? Because remember he was that ambassador, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
he flew over there in his official capacity, closed the deal with the Saudis. The minute they stepped out of office, the Saudis transferred $4 billion into his hedge fund.
And that could be considered a conflict of interest, a bribery, also.
Yeah, but what about the 10 million he got from Egypt?
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Also,
talking about from Trump.
yeah,
Trump got 10 million from Egypt.
Trump got some money from Jared. Also, he has tournaments from Saudi Arabia of all in his golf resorts and all that now.
Right. Well, not only that, let's go here. While he was in the White House and he had all of these foreign dignitaries coming, the only way he would see them in the Oval Office is if they stayed at Trump Hotel right there in D.C.
Pay to play. That sounds like pay to play.
I mean, look at what he did with just recently with was it OPEC? You
Mm-hmm.
know who OPEC is, right?
Yeah, Saudi Arabia, and Russia together as a gas company.
Right, all oil producing nations. But bottom line, they told him, give me what was it, $1 billion towards my campaign, and I'll make sure that bottom line, it was a quick pro quo.
Yeah, and remember when Hillary was uh running and they were like, "Oh, that was a play to play scheme and this and that and that." Well, what happened to that? We need to start pointing
Well,
out that
again,
from the Democrat side and pointing it out on the Republican side because that's what Trump was doing. It was a pay to play scheme, with the Saudis and other folks giving them money. Honestly, that's what they were going for, and that's what Trump wants to put in all these people that are yes men so he can get away with more and more. And they said, and it's funny because they put out a video talking about what's the requirements. You can't be a felon. You cannot have debt. But look at their boss. Look at their boss.
I mean, and what's the other little thing he did where he's talking about, if he was doing the NATO thing, where he was trying to force everybody to pay their fair share, and he was
Mm-hmm.
talking about a certain country asked, if we're not paid in full, and Russia attacks us, would you protect us? He said no. He said, if you're in debt, no. Bottom line, he's in debt. Look at how many people he didn't screw in his real estate business, contractors and stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's right now.
The state's money now.
Right. Well, that's what I was getting. That was what the next thing I was going. States are literally telling him, if you want to hold a rally here, you have to pay in advance. Because he owes so many people, like El Paso, he owes them $500,000. I forget what state it was, but he owes them like $4 million. Where he goes and puts on these rallies and all this kind of stuff, and then he blames, them for having some sort of a defect, whether it would be, the teleprompter, or the lighting, or whatever. He uses
the fire
that
code. Last time he was blaming the fire code. We have so much people outside, but the fire code.
Right. Well, he wants to blame whatever, right? But the goal of it is he goes to these cities where they have Democratic mayors, and that's who he's actually trying to screw. Okay. So he's not paying them because he don't want to pay the Democratic mayor. So anyway, let's take a quick minute right quick and run through these commercials that we got going on. We'll be right back with you in just a minute.
If you'd like to know more about Blind United, you can visit our website at blindunited.org. You can email us at info@blindunited.org. You can call us at 909-846-8825. You can follow us on Instagram at Blind United Interest Groups. You can follow us on X at Blind United 22. You can watch our YouTube channel, Blind United. You could join our Facebook group, Blind United Interest Groups, or you can follow our Facebook page, Blind United.
Have you ever considered experiencing the world as a visually impaired person does? Take a walk in our shoes and take part in activities such as crossing railroad tracks, using accessible crosswalks, operating a computer, and washing dishes, all while blindfolded. Discover the unique and wonderful aspects of our lives. This event will have vendors, food, and other workshops. The Blind United Walk a Mile in My Shoes Challenge, sponsored by Service Center for Independent Life. When October 12th in Claremont, California. If you're interested in attending or tabling at our event, please email info@blindunited.org or call 909-532-9513. Now you're cordially invited to Blind United's Spooky Evening on Saturday, October 26th, 2024, from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. at the Veteran Foreign War Post 2070, VFW, 825 South Magnolia Avenue, Monrovia, California, 91016. Cross Street is Chestnut. Come and enjoy a fun, spooky evening with games, a costume contest, and Halloween treats with friends and family. 825 South Magnolia Avenue. Cost per adult $25, children $5 to $13, $15, children 4 and under free. The meal will include hot links and a grilled chicken sandwich, chips, potato salad, soda, water, and cupcakes. A cash bar will be available. Door prize drawings will be held throughout the event. Deadline to turn in money is Thursday, October 10th, 2024. You can sell your money to Blind United Incorporated at blindunited2022@gmail.com. All children must be accompanied by an adult to the restroom. For more information, you may contact F.A. Chandra Howard at 909-774-6290 or Cheryl Thurston at 909-821-9589. Background picture of a scary pumpkin. Color is orange.
Just to clear something up in there, I noticed it sounded like it said hot wings and a grilled chicken sandwich. It's actually hot links and a grilled chicken sandwich. So,
well, hot wings sound better. That sounds good.
Right. I mean, why would we serve hot wings and a chicken breast? I mean, that
I don't know, but I was going with it. In the comments, Tisha said that that Michelle Obama, that they say that there's no proof that she was ever pregnant. There's no pictures of her being pregnant. That's why they accuse her of being, a transgender or whatever.
Well, again, and I'll bet you that Michelle's mama or Barack or somebody has got some photos of her pregnant.
No, I'm pretty sure it is. And I feel like it's not even that. It's just that she's a black woman. And I feel like that we are accused of being super masculine. And I hate that.
Yeah, because that was another thing. They called her an eight, all the time. Look at her. She looks like an eight. What? Man, come on. Just because she didn't have all that stuff hanging, they were mad at her because all of her dresses and stuff were sleeveless and her arms were nice and tight and firm, not like most of the other first ladies where they got all that gooseneck stuff hanging up underneath their arm.
Pedro stepped away, but dang, that's funny.
Also,
No, you know what? Part of the problem with that, she dressed professional. She wasn't dressed all provocative. She always dressed professional, and people didn't like that as well.
What was that? Something else I heard this weekend. Remember what her favorite saying was? When they go low, we go high.
Well,
And then somebody asked her, said, "Well, how high do we go?" And Barack stepped in and said, "High enough to where when we come down, we can bust them upside the head with our elbow."
wow.
also, that could work against him too, because where are the pregnant pictures of his wife, Melania?
Well, I mean, we can go there as well, but just to finish that other one off, they said Michelle is so serious that Barack had to sleep in the Oval Office that night. When he made that comment, she don't play. I mean, she's serious business. I mean, she's a serious woman. I mean,
High standards.
she got very high standards. She just coming from the south side of Chicago, I guess they feel she's supposed to be all ghetto and whatever, but no, she's just a remarkable lady. I mean, again, she's about doing the right thing, feeding the kids and growing. When she was growing vegetables at the White House, they said she was trying to put the meat manufacturers out of business, trying to turn everybody into vegans and all of that. Man, come on.
And didn't she try to reform the school lunch program?
Yes, with healthy stuff.
Yeah, and what did Melania do? What did she do? What was her thing that she was into when she was first lady?
Bullying. It was about bullying because Barron was being bullied.
Wasn't it getting rid of internet bullies? But her husband was the biggest
bully on the planet,
ma'am.
Right. I mean, so again, folks, just pay attention to who is who. I mean, pay attention, do your research, check these folks out. I mean, again, I told you guys before, I said it, long before, old girl took over for Biden, but I mean, I would have took Biden in a wheelchair with an iPad that had text to speech on it. I'm sorry, over Trump, I would have taken him that way. But but old girl, do I like her? I mean, she's better than Trump. But when she was a DA and all that stuff, man, she was tough on crime. I couldn't, I didn't like it because it seemed like she was, exceptionally hard on the minority communities.
Yeah, that's how I felt with a certain policy of hers. But the way I was seeing it at that time, I was young, I was doing my misbehaving and things like that. So when she came down with one of her policies about the Truancy Act, she was holding parents accountable, and I know that it did stop from abuse at the home, because some parents were not sending their kids because of abuse and things like that. But it seemed like, yeah, she was targeting a certain minority groups, but it's because she wanted those kids to go to school and get an education and succeed in life. That was the goal of that whole thing right there, you know.
I mean, I get it, like you say now, but back then, uh,
Mm-hmm.
man, this bro right here, she don't give a nut. I mean, and then
Trying to
this
lock
whole
my
other,
mama up.
but not only that, I mean, let's go here. That whole other thing about, Trump saying that, she just recently turned black. you
Hey,
know,
hey,
I,
I think if there was a switch, a lot of people would hit it. You know what I mean? If there
I
was a switch,
remember the day I turned black, guys. Don't judge. Don't judge.
but I mean, my point being, to me, I remember back then, like when she was a DA, I could still see, you know, I mean, she went to an HBCU, you know what I'm saying? I mean, when you look at it, I mean, you can tell she's biracial, but, you see the blackness in her, right?
mm-hmm.
So my thing was this, man, why is she so hard on her own people? You know what I'm saying? But again, she was all about the law, Uh, uh, I mean,
She was
yeah,
doing her job.
she's doing her job. I mean, I see that now, you
Mm-hmm.
know, but back then you don't want to hear that. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, yes, that's what I'm saying. Like for the younger folks, yeah. When I was young, I didn't want to hear that. I was like, But
But how about this one? Just so
mm,
just so everybody gets a reference of what we're saying, right? Everybody knows OJ probably did it, but everybody was behind OJ because why? It was a black man that got away. That's all it was. He's the one that beat the system. There's so many folks out there that didn't have the money to beat the system. They were accused, whether they were guilty or not, they got convicted, So it wasn't that
hey,
everybody was
but
behind OJ, okay? No, it wasn't about, it didn't have nothing to do with OJ. It had the fact to do with it was a black man that beat the system,
yeah,
okay? Look at Donald Trump right now. How many of us would be sitting here doing what we're doing right now if we did what he did?
oh no, we'd be locked up.
We'd have been locked up a long time ago.
And it's not a white or any color type of issue. It's a class issue. He's rich, he gets more leniency. He's been in a president, he gets more leniency. Us, no matter if you're white, black, blue, brown, or whatever it is, we would have been locked up.
I mean, bottom line, even though he was still president on January 6th, trust and believe, if there had been anybody else by midnight on January 6th, his ass would have been locked up. Okay? I mean, it's just that simple. If not, the minute the what is it, when Biden got sworn in on the 20th, the next minute Trump would have got locked up. One or the other. You know what I'm saying? Because he's no longer the president at that point, right? So I mean, again, this is.
And the point he tries to argue? Well, I didn't lock Hillary Clinton up, and why are they doing this to me? Come on, boy. Come
You
on.
had no proof on Hillary. What proof did he actually have on Hillary?
He said, I was not going to lock her up. But come on, you have everybody chanting it. You're chanting it. So what do you mean? Like, what do you mean you was not? You just didn't have enough evidence.
He didn't have enough. He didn't have any that I know of. But,
Okay.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Are the Clintons guilty? Yeah, they guilty of, corruption. What was that old Whitewater thing that they did? Whatever it was, had to do with the real estate stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They made a lot of money on that stuff, and they were scamming people. Okay, now you could have got him for that, but you didn't hear him say nothing about that. All he was talking about was somebody's emails, and because she went out of was policy or whatever when she was a Secretary of State or whatever it was, when she was using her server instead of that private server, the government server.
Yeah, the basement, supposedly them.
Yeah. Come on, man. If you're gonna blame her for something, blame her for some shit she did.
And then he goes, they went in the computers and bleach them all. Like, come on, what?
Come on. It's just, I don't know. But
Yeah.
anyways, the ladies done got quiet. Y'all tired of politics, ladies?
No, not at all. I was going to say that Tisha made another comment. She said that Serena Williams is also another beautiful black woman that gets accused of being a man, and I think that just shows another thing. Like Hillary is held to different standards because she was a woman, and I feel like Kamala also is held to a different standard, and Michelle Obama, being a black woman, held to a totally different standard, and I think that's really unfair.
That is unfair.
And Tisha, I want to know when was the day that you decided to be black, or when did you turn black? I want to know.
Yeah, I mean, it's really, really sad. I mean, society is set up that way. I mean, white women are, they're just held to a different standard. White men are held to a different standard than minorities. It's just that simple. And it's wrong. It's totally wrong. Our society has been set up that way. I mean, look at what Eric Holder was, Barack Obama's attorney general.
Mm-hmm.
When he investigated up there, Ferguson, when he investigated up in there, they found out, that the police department there and other police departments across the country, right? They were targeting the minorities for tickets and all that stuff because why? That's how they paid the police's salary. That's where all that quota stuff comes in. It just, I mean, again, all of this, you know what red line districts are, Pedro?
Yes.
I mean, that stuff still exists,
Yeah,
I mean,
it up to the 90s when I remember my mom purchasing a home. They told her you only can own a home here and here, nowhere else. Even though there were still houses in the markets in those areas, they only told her you could only choose from here and here.
exactly. I mean, and the crazy part is, all through what is now, well, it's converting now, but it has been, black LA for the last 50 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
Used to be the same way. I mean, all up and down Adams, up on St. Andrews, all around Western, all over there off of Crenshaw and between Washington and Venice, all that stuff was all, you couldn't get over there. You better not go over there. You better not come to the west side. A lot of people don't realize the jungle used to be the garden spot of LA. Okay, wasn't no black folks over in the jungle. It was definitely, it was Baldwin Hills at the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know
It was
what
a
turned
history
it,
lesson, Ed. Come on, get into it.
you know how it got turned around?
Mm.
When the dam up on the hill up there where Kennethon Park is,
Mm-hmm.
there's a dam up there.
I never knew.
Well, that dam broke and it flooded all the way down that hill, all the way to the Baldwin Hills Shopping Center, which, now the Baldwin Hills Mall or whatever they want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
But it flooded all the way to there.
Oh, wow.
And, all them folks that were living in all those apartments in the jungle, they bounced because it was all that water damage and stuff, right? So once they repaired all of it, they, again, white folks didn't want to live in there. So they started putting black folks in there, and that's when they started calling it the jungle because it was all tropical, plants and, trees and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? It was supposed to be like a tropical oasis kind of situation. So once you got all that mixed with the black folks, we're gonna call this the jungle now.
Wow.
I mean, it's crazy. It's just, a lot of people don't understand the history of LA. It's gone through some major changes. I mean, back in
trying to do that now, right? Like with the high rent and mortgage.
Well, it's the regentrification of it right now.
Mm.
So let's go here. If you want to go way back into the 20s and 30s, they were bringing black folks up from the South, okay, to work in the factories all up there on Alameda. You had General Motors up there, you had Firestone Tire, you had Goodyear Tire, you know what I'm saying? A lot of the big major factories up there, right? So they were bringing black folks up from the South to work over there, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then they had a train station on Gage and Alameda.
Mm.
That's where the black folks had to get off the train. They couldn't go into Union Station. Okay. They were kept on the east side of LA in Watts, what we now call Watts. Okay. Central Ave was the main boulevard. They brought all the blues and jazz and all that from down south, and they were doing that on Central Ave, right?
Mm-hmm.
But as the community grew, they started leaving the east side and moving more and more and more out to the west, and so on and so forth, until we basically just took over the whole city of LA.
Mm-hmm.
I say we, I wasn't even around, but but again, and as black folks were moving into, more of what we call now South Central, the white folks were moving out. They were moving out into, Montebello and,
White flight. Yeah.
exactly. I mean, and they literally came all the way out this way into San Bernardino. Well, now, because of the commute being so bad, that's why we're going through the regentrification. Okay, white folks are tired of that commute. So what are they doing? They're buying them properties really, really low.
And then they moving all the black and brown people out here.
Moving them out here. I mean, they literally shut down the imperial courts. You know who the imperial courts were, Pedro?
Mm-mm. Give me a lesson.
It was a project that was right on the corner of Compton and Imperial, right there by.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It was right there by Dr. King Hospital, Martin Luther King General.
Yeah.
Whatever out there, right? They moved they gave all of those people a damn voucher, and they all went up into Victorville.
Wow.
Okay, they live up there. Remember we was talking about that the other night, Britt, up there off of the 15 and where the Motel 6 is.
Yeah. I know where that area is. That area is pretty good.
Yeah, that big apartment complex back there behind that Motel 6. That's where all of them moved to. Then they took the Nickerson Gardens and moved all them people out to Moreno Valley.
Yeah. Or I know a lot of like Palmdale, like a lot of those areas.
A lot of people went to Palmdale. I mean,
Lancaster,
Palmdale,
yeah.
But I mean, in those areas there, they, especially the one in Victorville, they literally built a big old apartment complex for them, because it wasn't nothing up there in Victorville at the time, right? But bottom line, that's how they got all of them folks to leave LA. And then how did they get black folks to sell their homes in the city? They ran the prices up. I mean, some of these people's them houses been in their families for generations. They might not have paid but $20,000, $30,000 for them houses originally, and now they're worth $750,000, $800,000, $1 million.
Yeah.
I mean, they're taking the money and running. They're moving out this way. Why? You getting more bang for your buck out here. My house in LA would probably cost you, $1.2 million. At least double what it's worth right now. To me.
I mean, in Victorville, you can get a nice 5-bedroom, for a reasonable price. I mean, there's nothing up here but dirt.
It will be soon.
But like Brittany is saying, you get you a nice brand new 5-bedroom home up there, for $300,000-$400,000.
Yeah.
Brand new. Ain't nobody ever farted in it before. It's all you, with a pool and jacuzzi, all that stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or you can get the stripped down model, for 150, 200,000. And when I say stripped down model, I mean, a 3-bedroom house with a 2-car garage, and then they don't develop your backyard. They barely give you a little slab of concrete right outside your sliding door.
Mm.
But again, you can't get that in LA.
Yeah.
I mean, many of the people we know in LA, their houses are worth $750,000, $800,000, and their houses were built in the 40s.
Yep.
So it's they do different things, and here again, I'm bringing it around full circle. That's what Trump's about. Trump is about that kind of stuff. I mean, he wants his family has been charged and lost in court for racial discrimination when it came to renting. Okay, his father was in the real estate. That's how he got into real estate, right? But bottom line, all that they were denying access to minorities and blacks and whatever, right? But at the same time, even the white folks that they rented to, they were slumlords. They weren't fixing the property. They didn't care. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? That's just how they do. I mean, that's stiff the little guy. Who was that? Somebody said the other day. I guess the best way to sum it up, Donald Trump was born into millions and on paperwork became a billionaire. He knows nothing about our lifestyle. He knows nothing about what it takes to live down
Or
at this
struggle.
level or struggle. He doesn't know none of that. People
Um,
was
and
you
he's been
know
found guilty for profiling and not letting people of color rent in his apartment. He was found guilty. This is no rumor, no made up stuff. This is straight facts. Um, and you could see that by his attack still on our vice president about talking about
exactly.
she turned black. Oh, when did she hit the switch? You know, those are comments from someone that's been walking those lines of not renting to blacks, being foul mouthed with his language, and basically, I hate to say it, but he's looking so racist. You know, people like to say no, 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 no. He's looking so racist, comparing himself to a woman. It's another step lower. How you gonna compare yourself to a
I
woman?
mean,
Say,
his
I'm
racism
cute.
is definitely showing. I mean, maybe he should talk about the issues instead of Kamala's race, and maybe he might actually have a chance of winning. But he
He does.
can't.
He can't because his only issue is nobody's looking at him when they're looking at her.
Yeah, and he wants more tax cuts. That's his policy, more tax cuts. But let's go here. Those tax cuts that go for the rich, we need to get that money back that we're losing. And what happens? He wants a Trump tax across the whole board, meaning a Trump tax cut, a Trump tax for gas, a Trump tax for all products, a Trump tax for imported products. What is that gonna do? It's gonna drive prices up.
Well, I mean, the other thing he talking about lately, he was talking about that during his presidency about putting tariffs on China and all that stuff. Charging them more money to import their stuff. Dude, they just gonna pass that cost on to us. They're not gonna eat that. Okay, they're gonna pass that cost on to us, just like everybody else in corporate America. Whenever it costs them an extra 10 cents, they charge us an extra 12 cents. Okay, it's just that simple. They're gonna not only are they gonna recoup what the extra they had to pay, but they're gonna make a profit on that.
Yeah, you're correct. And let's put it here, folks. He is a businessman, the one on top, the CEO, the boss. When it comes to us workers, right? What do we think? It's unfair how the boss gets that time off, how the boss gets that extra pay, those bonuses, and we know who does most of the work, the workers. So he does not have the position of the workers in mind. He only has the position of the companies, the leaderships, the CEOs that he wants to give big tax breaks to.
How about this one? Remember when Obama was in office? He was complaining about Obama spending so much time golfing.
Mm-hmm.
And then he made the statements, oh, well, I would never be golfing. I wouldn't have time. I'd be busy doing the work of the people, yada, yada, yada. The minute he got in office, at the end of his term, they did a calculation. He spent 1/3, if not close to 1/2 of his time in office on the golf course.
Oh wow, yeah. Um, and another one, he's the one that added the 8 trillion to the debt, and that's the highest ever for a president.
It was his tax cut.
Yeah, it was his tax cuts, folks, that put us in that 8 trillion debt because he
So,
wants to give his friends a tax cut.
so anyway, we got any closing comments down there, Britt? It's time for us to
Yes,
get up out of
yes,
here.
we do. Tisha said that she's decided that she's not gonna be black. LOL. I agree, Tisha. I'm gonna only be black when it's convenient for me. I don't know what color it. I don't know what race I'm gonna be today. I don't know what would be convenient, but I'll figure it out and I'll let you all know.
Yeah, this is let me know before you turn, whatever you're getting ready to turn.
Wow.
Anyway, it's been one of them mornings, y'all. Sorry for all the politics on Monday morning, but hey, look,
See convention this week.
I mean, it's a DNC convention again. I mean, of course, I could never tell anybody who to vote for. All I can tell you is who I'm voting for, and I'm going to vote for Kamala and Tim. But bottom line, uh, don't get complacent. Don't think that Kamala's got it in the bag. You know what I'm saying? We can't take that chance. You know what I'm saying? You got to get out there and let the numbers speak for themselves. And I'm pretty sure that if we can get everybody to vote, that we're gonna come out on top.
Yeah, most definitely. And remember, guys, read. Don't just take our word for it. Don't just take CNN or NBC or anybody's word for it. Read this Project 2025 thing, and they're in some states, they're already trying to implement a lot of this Project 2025 stuff. A lot of these people want to implement a lot of this stuff. So do your research, guys.
Mm-hmm. They started interviewing people at that too. They're interviewing people. And then if you only watch Fox News, remember, folks, they were in a lawsuit. And what they told the judge was they are entertainment news organization. Just remember that.
Right. Well, it's an entertainment station. Fox is the actual name of the company is Fox Entertainment, not Fox News. Okay, so again, they call it Fox News, but again, they what it was almost $1 trillion, $750 billion they had to pay.
Yep, and they fired their top host that they had, the Tucker Carlson show, and then also the messages and the emails, the documentation that came out. Those folks don't like Trump. Tucker doesn't like Trump. Hannity doesn't like Trump. They were all about mouthing Trump.
But they kept the game going because it brought in the ratings.
Yeah, and they did it for ratings. And who does things for ratings? A entertainment corporation.
And what do ratings do for you? It brings more money for commercials.
Mm-hmm.
The more people watch your channel, the more money you can charge for your commercial time. So it was all about the dollar, and they had to give all that money back pretty much. So, but anyway, with all that being said, Monica and Brittany and Tisha, Pedro, my brother, I appreciate everybody. We're going to draw this one to an end for the day. And we will see you guys again tomorrow morning. So don't forget to come hang out with us tonight at 6 p.m. For the support group with Dominic Martin. remember, the topic is addiction, and Lord knows where that conversation is going to go. So you'd have to tune in to find out. So come in, hang on out with us and see where that goes. So anyway, we'll talk to you guys again tomorrow. Have a great day. Thank you once again, everybody.